My Year as a Space Cadet by Hope Dalvay. Narrated by Camila Diaz-Varela. Acorn Press, Charlottetown, 2021. The publisher acknowledges the support of the Government of Canada, the Canada Council for the Arts, and the Province of Prince Edward Island for our publishing program. To kids who stand up for themselves and others. To teachers who open minds, inspire, and most of all, care. You are heroes. From the desk of Harley Page Stewart, sometime in 2004. Dear reader, thank you so much for picking up my sequel. I'm positively thrilled you want to go on another journey with me. What? You haven't read my first book? And yet you're holding the sequel in your hands and you're wondering if you should go ahead and read it? What kind of reader are you anyway? To even consider such a daring, reckless act, you must be a rule breaker, a risk taker. Well, my advice to you is to somehow get your hands on my first book and read it before the sequel. Otherwise, you won't know any of the characters and their backstories. You'll be lost. Don't say I didn't warn you, oh rebellious one. But wait, what if there's been a nasty weather event, such as a snowstorm or a hurricane, and the electricity has gone out? You're desperate to find a fun way to pass the time, and this sequel is the only book in your entire home. Or maybe there is a pandemic. It could happen. And you need something to divert your attention, something to escape into. Or you have to write a book report and you randomly pull this one off the shelf at a library at the last minute, not realizing it's actually a sequel. Okay, I won't leave you in the lurch. I'll do my best to summarize my first book, Welcome to Camp Fill-in-the-Blank. And for the rest of you, think of this letter as a little refresher. I always thought writers were born, not made. I generally don't like being wrong, but thankfully I was on this matter. I'd never written anything of consequence until Mr. Norris, my grade 9 homeroom teacher, gave my class a seemingly impossible assignment to write our own novels. An idea for one immediately popped into my head. In my experience, the best ideas always pop. I planned to write about my previous summer. Sounds like an ordinary humdrum topic, doesn't it? Hardly the material for a gripping story. However, there was nothing ordinary or humdrum about my situation in the summer of 2003. For the first 14 years of my life, I had a perfectly organized existence. All that changed when my parents sent me to Prince Edward Island to live with my aunt and uncle and their 2 sons, Crusoe and Danger, for the summer. It would be my job to babysit my younger cousins. They, however, wanted to spend their summer at camp, not stuck in their boring backyard. I instantly knew I was in over my head and that only my awesome powers of organization would help get me through this predicament. So I created a summer camp for my cousins in their very own backyard. To keep things interesting, I planned a different theme each week, and voila, Camp Fill-in-the-Blank was born. A neighborhood girl named Moxie soon joined our camp, making us the more the merrier. However, no matter how much I organized and how much I agonized over every little detail, my carefully laid plans often blew up in my face. Fortunately, a mysterious boy next door named WMD dropped in and helped at those dire moments. I say mysterious because he always disappeared whenever grown-ups arrived on the scene. You'll just have to read the first book to understand why. Or you could wait until you get to chapter 6 of this sequel, but don't skip ahead. That's against the rules. Oh, I forgot. You're a rule breaker. Well, how about you make an exception just this once? I know it sounds like I'm complaining, but it was actually the best summer of my life. For every misadventure, there was an adventure.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?